Hello everybody, welcome back to our Breaking Perfect series. I have begrudgingly agreed to come back to Lynchburg College to try and finish what we started. A lot of people wanted this series to continue. I begged the question after our heartbreaking finish last episode. But for those of you who have never seen this, basically we're at Lynchburg College, a 9-hole course here, and the goal is to shoot 9 under or better, I suppose. But that would be quite incredible. We've gotten close a few times, but have yet to capture it. We just have to shoot 9 under through 9 holes on one 9-hole attempt. I have to declare the start and end of an attempt. That's important to note, especially because we are starting today on hole 3. Why are we starting on hole 3? Because there was a bunch of groups getting ready to go on 1, and I knew I could just easily jump ahead here, and it doesn't really matter which hole I start on, except for perhaps morale. So we're starting today on hole 3. The goal is 9 under, same as usual. Got my normal bag today, and I've been playing pretty bad disc golf as of late. So this would be an interesting time to do it, but maybe that's what I need. Hole 1, I should say hole 3, our first hole, hole 3. I've decided I'm going back to just the forehand layup strategy. I'm just tired of chucking into the woods, and I'll probably still end up in the woods. You guys know how I feel about this hole. Leaves are starting to fall though. It's getting a little less aggressive. So we're gonna go slammer. Try to throw a good layup hyzer to the front of the gap. If that gets right, that's pretty great actually. Okay, that's almost perfect. That's a good shot. That's a good start. This is somewhat where we want to end up here on this play, because now we get this flex forehand, and it's like we have an okay chance at birdie. This hole is just a really hard hole, but I feel like this is the most painless way for me to play it. I'm gonna throw my Phoenix here, my Glow Phoenix, and try and just flex it up there. It's just a far shot from here. This is probably the reason I don't play this option, but it just makes the tee shot so much less painful. Oh, wow, that was a good shot. Wow, okay, that was amazing. I think that actually might be putting. Wow, it's going to be a great start to the day if we can get hole 3, my nemesis here. Okay, that was a pretty inspired shot there. I guess the realization is you don't have to flex the disc a ton. You just need to make it to the corner, because that's basically what I did. And I've only got 10 feet left here. And this is a birdie we do not typically get. So let's focus in here. Make sure we can make our tap-ins. Okay, well that is a dream start for us. I'll tell you what though, as much as this hole is I hate, if you've watched the series, you know how I do with the next hole. If I can birdie those two, it's like almost a lock. Like that's the secret to this whole series, is 3 and 4. You almost feel like some extra pressure when you birdie a hole like that you don't normally get in this series, because it's like, okay, I need to take advantage of this run while I have that birdie. I don't want to waste it. Okay, fantastic start. This hole, hole 4, the 600-foot par 4 downhill, this is the one that's given us nightmares. We maybe have birdied this once in like the 4 or 5 videos we've done here. So the debate here is, do I go mid-range off the tee, better chance of landing in the fairway, I'm leaning towards this, just a longer upshot, or do I go driver, because then if I do keep it in the fairway, the upshot's a lot less of a deal. I think I just need to go mid for the sake of morale, so I can at least be in the fairway, because the fairway's too big to miss. So we go with our AB rock, throw just a subtle left to right shot, and commit to it. We got to commit to this shot. Well, luckily I committed to the angle, because I started it way left. This has been the miss. It stayed on the edge, so I'm gonna have a chance to get that up and down. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, at least I was able to commit to throwing that flat with turn, but I'm starting the disc just all way left offline there. The frustrating thing is you can see there's just so much room on the right side of this fairway to let the disc work over, and it's like I'm allergic to it. It's so frustrating. All right, we stuck pretty close to the edge, but we've still gotten rid of the hyzer. Like, we're gonna have to throw the forehand, which is kind of unfortunate. It's very doable. It's a little bit far from here though. Like, for me to throw a slammer, which is what I'd like to throw, I think that's quite a bit, but I think I have a choice here. We're gonna try to go with my stalker and just try to get the nose. We got to get all the angles perfect on a shot like this. I may have got that perfect if it has time to fight. Oh, and it does. Stay out of the trees. Wow. That was solid. I can't tell how short that is. If that's inside the circle, that's pretty brilliant from there. I actually got that angle right for once. I think it might be a little shorter than I'd like, but that just shows you I had to go driver there. Yeah, okay, this is probably just inside the circle. The fact that I play this hole awful typically like makes me excited about this birdie look, but realistically this hole is easier, so I shouldn't be in this position. But at least I have this for birdie. I've had this for par a few times. Just got to put a good putt on it. That's low. Putt's been really out of control lately. I'm just not really, it's just coming out on a ton of hyzer. It's not great. Okay, here's the thing. If you haven't seen this series, there's 2 eagleable par 4s. Technically this hole is eagleable if you really go for it, but there's 2 in the middle that are eagleable. Those kind of lie the key to this series. So for me, starting birdie par on these 2 holes is not the end of the world. It can be recovered. It's just the next couple holes are key. Like I would say that 5, 6, 7 are the 3 most important as far as scoring, because 5 is probably the hardest par 3. So that's a huge bonus. And then the next 2 are the par 4s. You have to eagle one of them usually. This is that aforementioned par 3, hole 5 here. Now this hole is going to get easier the more that the ceiling of trees kind of thins out with the leaves falling. So it's already gotten way more visible. I'm going to try to attack this with the flex forehand. So I felt more comfortable in my forehand than my backhand right now. And I still feel like the shape of this hole really sets up for this shot. Because there's a lot more room to cut the disc left, and it's thinner on the left if you get into the trees. So I like this shot. I'm going to try and play it. I think I have a better chance of getting myself a putt. We're going to go PD2 and trust it and just try and rip a good forehand. Start it at the right wall, rip it over. This is when, like, we got to birdie this, or else it's got to go eagle, and that's just a lot to ask. Oh, almost perfect. Hit a tree and sit. Okay, it's a jump putt up the hill. Very good line, not quite enough angle, but I do like that shot. I feel like that shot can work. We do have the jump putt opportunity here. Not great with these right now, but we can give this a bid, and if we make it, we're in great shape still. If we miss, we got to go eagle. So let's just try and get this to height. I need to go back to trying to throw these on anhyzer, because the hyzers just don't work. Just didn't quite commit to turning that, but I get better pop out of my hand. Okay, we got to make that putt for par, and then if we don't eagle the next hole, we'll have to restart and go to attempt number 2 of the day. Tap out our par. We will go ahead and play the next hole. If we eagle it, we'll keep moving. If we don't eagle, we will restart on hole 7. Hole 6 is the first of our 2 eagleable par 4s. This one's 366 uphill. Now, like some of the other holes, I think as the leaves and brush dies off for the colder months, this hole will be easier to get to, but it's still pretty tough. I've actually had more success with the next par 4, which is funny because historically that's not been the case. But we're just going to be throwing our Flippy Destroyer, Evelina Destroyer here, trying to hyzer flip it up into that gap, that kind of V opening in the trees, and hoping to get a favorable landing. Just got to really work on following through right now, getting all the way through my shot and not letting it go early. Well, that'll be the end of this run, because that is straight into the trees. I think I followed through okay there. It just came off really weak and on way too much hyzer. Backhand's been in bad shape. Hopefully I'll be able to find that disc to fetch it, but then we're going to restart on the next hole. Yeah, the backhand's just not in a great spot right now. Turns out, I think I mentioned this before, but if you ask a lot of people to judge your form, it starts to get in your head, even if you don't think it is. And so my form's been a little wonky with the backhand, and we gotta straighten it out. All right, we're starting our second attempt of the day now on hole 7, the other gettable par 4. This is the one I've had the most success on, just throwing this stalker on a turnover line. So let's try to start our second run well here. Too low. That's the one mistake you really can't make, to give yourself an eagle putt and throw it too low. Have to give the disc a chance to get there. Easy birdie from there, but it's not going to be the eagle. Just want to jump this up here. I mean, we'll kind of give it a bid, because I can't really go super past from this range. I mean, we're about 100 feet, so it's a long jump putt. It's pretty good effort. Whoa, I did not think that was at the basket. I thought it was like 5 feet short. My depth perception's off. Well, wow, that's nice. That's the longest putt I've made like ever. That was like a full power 100-foot uphill jump putt. Holy cow. That's a great start. Okay, we're getting So far, both our runs have had great starts. This one even better. So our last attempt started with an awesome birdie on hole 3 we never get. We botched that one. Now we just got a massive jump putt on 7 to get an eagle. Got to take advantage. And 8 is a little tricky one that can get in our way, but if we can get through hole 8 here, 1, 2, super easy. We could get a lot of momentum going. This could be a great run. So it all starts here at 8. Got a forehand, 315 feet hyzer. It's all about getting enough distance. I got to make sure I push it out there. This is a far hyzer forehand for me, but also can't turn it over. We're going Raider. Just got to rip it out there. Love that. That's so good. Go in. Oh my gosh, it went right in front of it. Okay, it skipped a little because I landed it like at the basket, but I think it's still inside the circle. That's a good shot. Really surprisingly, I went past the basket deep. I don't think I've ever gone past it staying on hyzer the whole time. I must have just really got a hold of that, but this is a 25 footer and a great look here. So we got to be a good putter. We're gonna have to make at least 2 or 3 of these in any given run if we want to do this. You got this. Oh my gosh, that was such a gift. Such a gift. That was a terrible putt. And the rims on these baskets just kept that in the basket somehow. That was a gift. Okay, things are kind of lining up right now. Crazy putt on the last hole. Absolute gift of a birdie right there. I feel something in the air today. Hole 9 is just our short little backhand skip. You got a ton of pine straw to skip the disc. Everything wants to feed to the basket. You just have to make sure not to saw it off or crush it. It's not a hard shot. We're have a great run going, and we don't want to stop it here. This would be a terrible place to stop a run. Just need to throw another good shot. A little bit of wind off the right. That looks good. Great skip. Wow. That was a nice, like, conservative straight skip. It didn't come in too hot, and it got a little roll at the end. I think I actually left it a little short, but not much. It should be close. A little shorter than we wanted to be here, but it's still only like 20 feet up the hill. Just have to make these today. Got to continue to throw confident putts. Better than the last one, that is. Just pop it on the pole. There we go. Not a terrible putt. Classic hyzer to guide it in. All right, this is a great run. This is a great run. We've gotten through a good chunk of the course here. We played 7, 8, 9, and we are 4 under through those 3 holes. So, just got to get 1 and 2. Those are gimme holes. And then face our fears on 3 and 4. Still not changing any strategy on hole 1. Still going to go with the backhand hyzer. Get it around the trees, let it feed down the hill and skip. I know that the forehand is there, but it's just not a shot I'm confident in. Backhand hyzer is just too easy not to throw. That's the short one though. Or is it? No, it got past it. Oh yeah, good backstop too. I feel like if I aim a little higher and try to throw a harder shot, I have a less chance of babying it. And I'm finding that even when I feel like I threw it short, I'm getting behind that second tree. I've done that a couple times now, and that one hit a backstop right behind the tree. That's like 10 feet. That's a tap-in. Thank you, little tree, for putting me in this awesome spot. Here we go. 5 under through 4. This is a great run. Alrighty, hole 2. In my opinion, probably the easiest hole in the course. Maybe this one or 9. Just a very short, straight backhand. I really like the slammer that we've been using for the backhand, like slight left to right shots. I think this is the perfect disc for this hole. Make sure I don't leave it short and just smooth it up there. Finish my shot. We got to get this. If we get this hole, we really just have to grind it out in the last 3, but we're in a great spot still. Wow, luckily, okay, that's gonna be great. I think it cut rolled a little bit. Luckily, I snapped it way harder than I wanted to because it came out way lower than I wanted, but I think it got up there and I think it's very close. That was just a not great throw that turned into a fantastic result. Yeah, this guy cut rolled right in front of the basket. That is a pain-free birdie. Got a couple of those now in a row. That's great. So we are officially on 9 under watch. The road ahead, we still have 1 stroke to play with. We have the par 4 hole 3, another par 4 hole 4, hard par 3, hole 5, easy par 4, hole 6. So if we can somehow birdie the next 2 holes, it's basically a wrap. I think the goal would be to go 1 under through the next 2. So just make a birdie on one of them somehow and then par the other. And then I just have to play 2 under through the last 2, which gives me a chance to either go, if I birdie 5, easy birdie on 6, or worst case scenario, we par 5 and we have a chance to eagle 6 and still get it. But if we go birdie somehow, it's basically locked. Huge shots here. I think it'd be foolish to change up my strategy since I birdied this hole earlier. So we're gonna play the same slammer shot. Hopefully, we just gotta keep it out of the woods at the very least. Like, we cannot put ourselves in a position that brings in bogey, and we need to give ourselves opportunity to make birdies because you never know what happens. I made a 100-foot putt today. So we're gonna start this nice and wide. Maybe throw it a little softer, because if you push up, that's how you can get pinched off. So maybe a little softer and just nice and wide. Love that. Love that. Oh, that's same exact spot. Literally to a T, the same spot. So same shot we need for the next one. This is the exact same spot we had before. It's gonna be the same shot. Now, granted, the shot I threw last time was an awesome shot. So dial up another one of those would be incredible. The most important thing to do is hit this first gap. Make sure we don't bring bogey into play. That's a disaster. So we just gotta throw a confident forehand, hit our gap, find our angle, try to make birdie again. Oh, I did it again. Same shot. Okay, that one's like maybe 5 feet further left, but that's still an inside the circle putt, I think. I am showing up big time on that hole today. Okay, I didn't realize I hit this kind of brush pile, which I thought was that one back there. So I am a little bit further than I was last time. We're probably about 35 feet. So I thought we were really in a great spot. This is still fine. I was definitely psyched at the prospect of an easy birdie here because that would make things a lot easier on the next hole. But we got to throw an awesome putt here. This is a huge putt. We can make this take so much pressure off the next hole. Just got to throw a confident straddle putt here. Get in there. Oh, man. Wow, I like that out of my hand. I can't tell if there's a little bit of wind. I can't tell if it was ever high enough or if it just got shoved. I think I might have got a little push down. It was a pretty well thrown putt. Dang. Okay, pressure's on. We've used our lifeline with that par. We're now right on pace. We have 3 holes to play. One of them is eagleable, but realistically, birdie gives us the easiest path out. So we got my nemesis in the way once again, hole 4. We got to make things happen. Here we are, hole 4, backs against the wall. Got to birdie this or else it's gonna be really hard to do this. Giant fairway ahead. I'm going with the Nord. I'm gonna go a little more overstable, try to convince myself to force it over, and there's been a little bit of an off and on headwind, so I'm a little nervous with the rock. But I think this disc, I'll be able to really force it over and trust it. Just gotta snap a good line here and commit to it. Oh, and that is good as long as it doesn't fade too hard. Oh, it's gonna fade so hard. It's too stable. And it skipped quite a bit. That's gonna all depend on what it ran into when it skipped. Because if it hit the wall early, it's further down than my last one. But if it skipped in far, we're gonna have another really tricky forehand. That's the problem that's why you can't really throw too much of a flex shot, because if the disc is allowed to come back, if it's given the opportunity, it skips so hard left. That probably was a poor decision. I got scared of the wind. Oh boy. This is not so bad. There was quite a bit of brush that this shot ran into. So we'll see what we have here, because there's a chance we have a backhand hyzer. The backhand hyzer is there, but I think it's actually just not, I think it's gonna force me to just miss left. I think I have to throw the forehand, but the good news is we were closer than we were last time, so I can throw a slammer. Just gotta get this right. It just is this hole every time. I swear, before this series, man, and I've said this before, this hole, like I feel like I birdied it most of the time. It felt like a pretty easy birdie, but it's this hole is just giving me so much trouble. All right, so you start it out, bring it in slow. Sit down. Okay, that's not a bad shot. I thought I had the turn perfectly. I didn't give it quite enough. I think I had to play on the side of caution, because a lot of times with that slammer, the mistake I make is giving it too much anhyzer and burning it. The good news is I think I got the distance just right. So I think it's like 25, 30 feet pin high. All right. So honestly better than I thought. This is only maybe 25 feet, if that. It's probably closer to 20. This is a very makeable putt. A lot of pressure. I mean, even if I make this, I still have to go birdie birdie or par eagle, but this just feels like if I can make this, there's just nothing that's going to stop me. Like this is the putt I got to make in crunch time. I got to finally get the monkey off my back and birdie this hole. Just don't miss it left. Be through the basket. Through the basket. Yep. Boom. I'm done. I think the last couple swing thoughts I just gave myself to go through the basket just saved that putt because it wasn't a good putt. It didn't rotate and it was on so much hyzer, but because I told myself to really finish through the basket, I was able to keep it just right enough to hook in there. And, you know, sometimes that's the thing with putting is your putt's not looking great. You got to work with what you've got, work around it, and just try to figure out how it goes in the basket. That's what we did. We figured out how to make that go in the basket. We are in a great spot now. This is genuinely the closest I've ever been because now if I if I birdie 5, there's just no way. Like birdieing 5 and then parring the easy par 4 would be the biggest collapse of all time. So it feels like if I birdie the next hole, I'm going to do it, but we got to stay focused. All right, so hole 5. We are going to go with the same game plan as last time, flex forehand. I still like that under pressure right now. Backhand's just not good. But we're going to go with the Thunderbird because it's a little less stable. So I don't have to give it as much angle as the other disc. And I don't think I need a distance driver to get there. So that's the play. Just have to really focus on getting this thing, getting a chance, getting it through that gap. Just hit the initial gap and then hopefully we get sneaky. Oh man, get lucky. Oh my gosh, it did. No way. I think it's pin high. I didn't realize till just now just how lucky that forehand does have to get. Like once you pan over to that left, you've just got like 4 trees and it's like I hope I miss one, and I missed all of them and got through. That's going to be a putt. We'll see how close it is. Wow, that was a heart racer. I really thought it was going to flex sooner because I didn't want to play it that far left, but it actually ended up being left enough to get around everything. This was another great result here. We now have a pressure packed 20-footer, similar to the last one. I mean, it is not a putt for the win, but like I said, bottling it after this, not getting a birdie on the next hole would just be crazy. So this feels like if I don't make this happen, when am I ever going to do it? Like everything has just worked out today. We have got to execute. Same thing, just get through the putt, keep it on the pole. Bang. Let's go. We're finding just enough in the putting stroke right now, just enough to get us past these 20-footers. And let's just recap so far, okay? We started out this run with an eagle on 7 with a 100-foot jump putt. That put us at 2 under. Then we birdied 8 with a miracle catch from the basket, 3 under. Then we go to 9, easy birdie, 4 under. We go and tap in on 1 and 2, 5 and 6 under. Parred 3, but then come back with a birdie on 4 to put us to 7 under. We've now birdied 5 to put us to 8 under. With 1 hole to play, an eagleable short par 4. We just have to make birdie, and this series is over, and we can move on to the next battle. This one is gonna hurt if I don't do it. Here we are. I did just get iced for about 15 minutes waiting on the tee for the group ahead, but that's okay. I think they're new to disc golf, not a big deal, but we are a little cold. We got to throw one more shot, one more good shot, and we are just about home free. We're gonna go glory and try and play a high flexing shot. I just have to throw one good backhand today. Like I have to dial it up. This shot needs to be committed, it needs to be pulled over, and it needs to get past the trees. That should do it, folks. That is perfect. Wow, I don't know what is going on with my lower body, but I had to fight so hard against my hips just then to pull that disc over. Like I've always had the problem with closing my hips. I don't know why I'm like really freaking out. I just threw a perfect drive and I'm about to complete this challenge, but like I'm just a little frustrated at like, I've always struggled with closing my hips and not being able to like get back online. But like I had to literally, I felt like I had to pull through my hip and almost injure myself to get that disc over on a little bit of anhyzer. Like that is a problem. But the good news is I just laced that drive, and I think I'm going to be sitting in front of the gap. I mean, I might have like a 50-footer jump up, and that's going to do it. I'm very psyched about that, but I'm just a little annoyed that I just about exploded my hip to do it. Sure enough, our drive is over here, just about perfect position. Just have to lob it over that tree. Okay. Well, we have one more shot to execute. We just need to toss it over this overhanging branch for about 40 feet max from the basket and then tap out. This is a little nerve-wracking because it would seem like this shot is very routine, but there are ways to mess this shot up, and there are ways this shot could go wrong, especially if it were to roll. I'm trying to debate if I am to just float the putter straight or if I want to even mess around with throwing a forehand just because it's a little easier, but it is putting the disc on angle. The straight shot, I just worry I could mess up. I think we're just going to chuck the forehand. This is just scary stuff, man. I mean, I would feel so stupid if I mess this up. That's the thing about this series is like, because it's perfection, even though I've played it to a T and have left myself with such an easy thing to do, I'm still capable of messing this up. So I have to just lock in here until we're tapped out. Just need to float it up over it onto the hillside. Come on, Trevor. Perfect. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Okay. Okay, we're parked. I heard basket and I was like, if that kicks and rolls, oh my gosh, we're about to do this. This is kind of surreal because I just expected this to come down to like a dramatic final putt or eagle or something, and I think I'm tapping out. So that's crazy. This should be the final shot of our series. Yep, right next to the basket here. Perfectly done. Yeah, I did not expect to have this as my as the last shot, but I'm happy that it is because I don't have to putt. And this will do it for 9 under. It wouldn't be so funny if I just like wasn't looking and dropped it. For 9 under through 9 holes at Lynchburg College. There you have it. We've done it. It has finally been accomplished. I've been so close so many times. I feel like this was an appropriate amount of attempts. I feel like it could have taken me longer, but I'm proud of how many times I got close even before getting it. And I think it just goes to show like there's a lot of breaks that I got, like 4 or 5 breaks that I got on this run to even be able to accomplish this. But I'm really excited I was able to do it. I set this goal thinking I would eventually, and I think just practicing this course enough times, I finally got to it and was able to execute today, get the breaks I needed, make an insane 100-foot putt, which was cool to have that included, and we did it. We have achieved perfect on this course. So with that being said, this series has now come to a close. Thank you to everybody who's enjoyed it. I know some of you might be bummed to see it go, but I want to introduce a new challenge to the channel. So let me know in the comments down below. I'll be picking a new one to move on to, maybe something, a similar difficulty or harder or whatever you'd like to see. So let me know what you want that to be, and we can start that as a new series, maybe in a few months. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how today went, and I'm excited to put a bow on this one. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week.